You gotta just chill out, man.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans, welcome back to another episode of the Scho Bro Show. This is Steel Curtain Network editor Dave Schofield coming at you Tuesday night, a little bit later than 9 p.m. tonight. That's okay. But where else would you rather be as Steelers fans? And with me as always, except when he's not, is my big brother Rich. Rich, how's the air feeling?
Let's just breathe in some of that very crisp, very cold Western Maryland air right now. Yes, we are at about 26 degrees here at the house currently.
But you didn't say the phrase.
What?
It's the sweet smell of
Oh, you weren't paying attention. I did so.
Check the tape. Check the tape.
Okay.
That's all right. Hey, Steel Dog 88. Hope that you're doing better there. He's joining us in the hospital right now, but says he'll be all right. No worries. Hey, we won't worry about you unless you say worry. But hope you're doing better. Get out of there because this is a big week, Steelers fans. Sorry we're running a little bit late tonight. Rich had his.
I was on the other paying gig.
Yep,
the third of my paying gigs was tonight. So
you're announcing for college basketball. Was this the first one tonight?
No.
Okay.
No, this was
Tuesday one. We'll say that.
It's the only Tuesday one. We tend to only run one Tuesday night game the entire season, typically in November, and it sucks. I almost bailed out of it just because of this, but Kyle wanted me to be there, so I was there.
Okay, and you're also dealing with vehicle problems, so therefore you because we've if people remember when you've had this typical Tuesday night one, you've even done the show from your office, but you couldn't do that tonight.
I couldn't do that tonight.
You have a ride home.
Yes, because I had to have a ride home because I was dependent on Mrs. Big Bro bringing me home. So
Mrs. Big Bro, but hey, that's great. That's wonderful. But you know what else was great and wonderful?
Steelers won.
That 28-27 win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I tell you, I kept saying, and I'm so glad that I was not correct in this, that my biggest concern was Washington, if you're playing a close game, they've just found a way to win. We saw the Hail Mary, everything else. I've talked about it. And I'm just like, they're one of those teams this year that's just kind of found ways to win. But you know what? The Steelers did something big. They found ways to win against a team that typically finds ways to win.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. And that kind of goes to the heart of this episode tonight with the title that one Jefferson Bartholomew Hartman came up with. Don't underscore a hard-fought Steelers win versus a quality team. Okay? You were wanting to talk about this precisely, is that the Steelers, they had to fight for this one. They had to pull this one out. And that's that could mean a lot going forward.
Not just did they pull this one out, it got to the point where I think I probably should have put it in the knee-jerk article reaction, but I think I said to Kyle, I was like, when Jalen Warren fumbles the ball going into the end zone, I think I said to Kyle, did the Steelers just snatch defeat from the jaws of victory?
I think you put that in the article because I seem to remember reading it.
I don't know if I might have, but I know I said it to Kyle. I couldn't remember if I put it in the article or not. Did they just snatch defeat from the jaws of victory?
No,
because you just had the feeling that they maybe had, and then they didn't.
You know what? I don't know why. I'm like, even after the Jalen Warren fumble, I still believed that I thought the Steelers were going to take the lead.
I don't know if I thought they were going to take the lead.
That they were going to take the lead. The only question was, would they hold the lead?
Yeah. I wasn't even sure they were going to take the lead. My first thing was defense got to hold them quick and get the ball back here with some time. because I didn't want the Steelers getting the ball back with 2 minutes to play and the length of the field and, and no timeouts and having to score a touchdown. I didn't want the Steelers to be in that situation. I was worried what they were going to do. I mean, it's 3rd and 9. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I don't think I had Chuck It Up to Mike Williams checked off in my bingo box, but I will from now on.
I was waiting for that play. I mean, they say they hadn't practiced that route or anything in practice, which I get, but I just meant taking the deep shot to Williams. Either side, anywhere on the field, whatever they were going to do. Just Russ looking for Williams deep. I was kind of waiting for that all game. Just one. Just give me one to try to keep the defense, get the defense on their toes, and that'll open up other things. I even said this with the post-game show, but it almost seems like, nope, the Steelers didn't use it to open up other things. They used the other things to lull them to sleep, to say, now we're going to throw it deep to Mike Williams on the most important play. I mean, that was 3rd down. I mean, they would have gone for it on 4th.
I know, but let me just say this, okay? Russell Wilson gets back under pressure, throws that ball off his back foot. The crazy thing was, okay, you could say the moon ball, the whatever, you can like it, not like it, whatever. But honestly, it is that ball, the trajectory of the ball isn't as huge to me there as the fact that the ball got to the point where the receiver was at the time the receiver got there.
Yeah.
And do you know how difficult that is to throw that ball into the air that amount of time and still have that happen? Like, I'm sorry, the geek in me is like, what kind of processes are going through your brain to be able to do that?
Yeah. Well, because not only that, I don't know about you. Maybe from the all 22, you could see something different, maybe from an end zone view. I'm just going from what I saw from the game broadcast. And if I'm incorrect, someone in the live chat, please set me straight. But did it look like he had to adjust for that ball at all?
Not much.
It was right there. It was right there.
The question was, he ran for a minute and it looked for a second like he was going to look over the wrong shoulder. Like you saw just a moment of hesitation in his look.
Yeah.
In that bend or that twist. But he made the right move, picked up the ball. He didn't have to speed up or slow down or anything.
That's the thing. The timing of him going out, he didn't have to come back for it. He didn't have to slow down for it. He didn't have to reach out for it. It was the perfect, as it's going, the trajectory landed right on. That's the old school. I can't remember what they call. You'll remember what it's called. When they would do like the quarterback challenge thing, and they have the cart with the target on it as it's moving, and you got to throw it up high, and it's got to come down perfect right. Hit it right as it's moving. Throwing the ball with the cart. It was
right. Showing my age here in 2 ways. One, for what I was going to refer to here, and secondly, because I can't remember the name of it. What was the game that we used to play on the old Commodore computer where you had to pick your angle of trajectory? Artillery. That was like playing artillery. Yeah,
there's a more modern version we used to play like 15 years ago. It's called Pocket Tanks. That had a lot of crazy weapons and stuff. But artillery was just, the one-shot little stick figure, and you had the wind, and you had to do that. Yeah, you had to hit the perfect trajectory. Now, people talk about the moon ball, and I saw Wes saying in there, people saying that all he has is the moon ball, and he doesn't. That's exactly right. He doesn't. My goodness, look at the previous game. Similar distance, similar route, Calvin Austin, but on the line.
Yep.
It almost seemed like the same play. I didn't look at everything else with it, but it seemed like it was very similar. But he didn't throw the moon ball. I'll ask you this: why? Why throw the moon ball? I got a good answer. I want to know.
I have a couple of good answers.
Okay.
Here's one of I like about the moon ball. Yes, it spends more time in the air. But that more time in the air allows plenty of time for the receiver to continue to run the route and still have time to pick up the ball and make the catch.
And saying my receiver is better than your defender.
Yes.
So I'm going to put it out there for him, and he's just going to beat you. That's huge. I got another one. Why the moon ball to Mike Williams and the not one to Calvin Austin? And I don't think it had anything to do with the receiver. It could have, but my explanation doesn't.
Go ahead.
When they're bringing pressure on 3rd and long, and you have to get rid of it quicker. When you have the ability to throw the ball high and lay it out there, you're throwing it sooner because it has more hang time. And how many times do we see? Oh, well, it's 3rd and long, but the quarterback didn't even have time to let the receivers get into their routes. He had to throw the hot read so quick because they brought pressure. You bring pressure. You've got that high arcing ball in your repertoire. That means you're throwing it earlier, which means you can get deep plays and not have to have a huge amount of time of protection.
Correct.
It's a big advantage.
Right, because your time's being made. The time from snap to catch is the same, but the ball is not in the quarterback's hand as long.
Yeah. It's more time in the air and less time for the defense to get to the quarterback with him still having the ball. Absolutely. You know where the spot is. You have to trust your receivers. And I mean, my goodness, the guy just got there Tuesday and he put it out there and said, go get it. And guess what?
He got it.
You know, no touchdowns all season. First target is a Steeler. Touchdown. I mean, you can't make that stuff up. All right, let's get to other aspects of this game. All right. Or do you want to hit the news first?
Actually, let's go ahead and grab news now while we're on it.
Not a ton of news. The Steelers added some players to the practice squad. They did add a former All-Pro kick returner. No, it wasn't Gunnar Olszewski. No, it was what's his last name? Agnew. Added what else? Oh, and Jonathan Ward was back on the practice squad.
Was back on the practice squad.
But those are practice squad moves. Alex Highsmith from Papa Highsmith. Low ankle sprain. That's the better kind.
Yep.
Couple, 2-3 weeks. I look for him to be up this week in the short week to the Browns. Then let's see what the Bengals hold. That's great news. Honestly, when I saw that injury, first I was ticked because I'm like, the whole reason he stepped on him is because they
try not to hit him hard.
Exactly, because they make you have to. They make the defender has to put himself at risk because you're not allowed. You'll get flagged for putting the quarterback at risk. So it's just a byproduct of it. But the way his ankle turned, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I did in gym class my senior year of high school. It looked a lot like that.
Yeah, there's only one thing that was different.
He was getting paid a lot of money to do it.
No. Alex Highsmith is a real athlete.
Yeah. Real athlete, man. I was afraid that was going to hinder my state championship, but I actually participated in a track meet 1 week later after I did it. I shouldn't have. I was not 100%, but it was recoverable. It was recoverable, and so that's good news about Highsmith. They're anticipating Nick Herbig being good to go this week. They aren't talking about who's going to start, distribution snaps, whatever, because they don't really, because Herbig didn't play last week, it's easy to say we don't know where he is. Dante Jackson, Najee Harris, Calvin Austin, all those guys are ones that might be limited early in the week, but Coach Tomlin didn't see any of them as needing to miss time, meaning miss this game. And he once again mentioned Corey Trice, which means he must be close to coming back.
Yep.
I have a feeling that if did I say the wrong name again? Dante Jackson. I can't remember if I do.
No,
I used to
I
say
think you got
DJ.
it right.
I said it wrong. I don't know how many times I said it wrong in the post-game show.
A lot.
A
lot.
But if they were concerned about him, I think you would have seen maybe Corey Trice coming along a little bit more. But man, some overall, the Highsmith thing sucks, but it's actually good. It's kind of like a couple of years ago when you thought TJ Watt was out for the season and then you found out he was only out for half the season.
Yeah, it's bad news, but it's only short-term bad news.
Yeah, and now it's like, wow, Steelers had no idea that would happen. Now, how smart was it to just grab Preston Smith for next to nothing when you had the opportunity to do it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. So, any other news about that, or can we get back to the game?
Back to the game.
All right. Here's something that I found interesting. I know Jeff put me on the spot, and I was like, I wasn't exactly sure, and I was kind of him like saying there was a problem with consistency. I'll take the PFF grades for, whatever you want to take it for. They had some really screwy ones this week if you read my article.
I did, and yes, they did.
Especially on defense. But on offense, their highest rated offensive lineman was Broderick Jones.
And that did not pass the eye test.
You don't think it did?
No, it did not.
They didn't have him giving up a single pressure.
Yeah, which is wrong because one time he got faked to the outside. The guy goes right inside of him. Russ throws quick and gets, smacked.
Yeah. I'm wondering, and when stuff happens and it ducks to the inside, if they're crediting it to Mason McCormick.
That's what I wonder.
He had the lowest grade on the offense.
That's what I'm wondering. But it was Broderick Jones' guy, and as the guy ducked inside, he totally whiffed on him.
Mm-hmm.
And Broderick Jones' play is just not consistent right now.
That's what I was saying. I didn't think he had a terrible game.
No, but this is what I'll see. I'll see 5, 6, 7, 8, not spectacular, but solid. Like just what I would call regular NFL plays. But then when he messes one up, he messes it up royally.
Yeah. His good is pretty good, but his bad is generally
really bad.
Yeah.
So,
but I was hoping to see some improvement coming out of the bye to see maybe he was going in the right direction.
I'm not sure.
If he's going in the right direction, that would be good. But I thought that was interesting with stuff from him. Also, I was surprised. How did you feel overall about Russell Wilson's performance on Sunday?
I thought it was rough in terms of the completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
He is still missing a few throws that should easily be made. Probably 4 to 5 a game.
I felt like there were more this game than the other.
I felt like there were as well. He's missing a couple where it's just like, dude, the guy's wide open. Why are you throwing that far behind him where he can't catch it?
Yeah.
When you're not under pressure,
the one to
significant pressure, or
that he had to go to the ground to catch rather than catch on the run and get the first down.
Yeah, it's just
the screen to Darnell Washington that was rocketed with him stretching his hand out and maybe hitting his hand.
Yeah, if you're going to rocket it, you better put it right between the 8 and the 0.
Yes.
Some of those kinds of things, but still, the plays that mattered, he made. Believe it or not,
passes.
Right. Do not undervalue the throw to Freiermuth for the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually not an easy throw, as shown by Lamar Jackson not being able to hit Mark Andrews for a 2-point conversion kind of thing. And actually, Russ's might have been even harder because Muth had to be further outside, which actually flattened that throw out even more. That was a quality pass. Some people will say, well, the touchdown pass to Pickens, that's a heck of a play by Pickens. Yes, but Russ put that ball in the spot where Pickens could make a play.
Yeah. That's what he does with Pickens.
Yes.
Same with the one on the sidelines.
Yes.
Okay. Put it up and say, I'll put it where only you can catch it, and you're that good that you can.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know what I especially like about that? George Pickens loves it.
Oh, yeah. So, trust me, I'm not complaining about Russell Wilson.
No.
Because I said it in one of my, I don't even remember which article it was, that his intangibles completely outweigh anytime you're dealing with some inaccuracies. And his inaccuracies on some of those other passes are not inaccuracies that are going to cause you to have an interception.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might be why they're a little bit more inaccurate, because he's being cautious about the interception and not necessarily trying to squeeze it in the tightest of windows.
Yeah, it's the, if you're going to miss to the good, don't miss to the bad.
Exactly. So I know some people who didn't want Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh are still going to continue to say that things are not good. I just don't understand how would you can see that. Tell me how the Steelers have had a genuine NFL offense in the last 3 years, other than the last several games. And I mean,
Right.
And it wasn't far off when it was with Justin Fields. It's just different. And honestly, you know who I think might be the most, it might have changed the most having Russell Wilson? Are you ready for it? Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best thing for Russell Wilson, was coming to play for Mike Tomlin.
No, but what I'm saying is, since they went to Russell Wilson, I mean, we could talk about the fake punt.
Yes.
How do you see Mike Tomlin running a fake punt like that earlier this year, or all last year or the year before, even though it's the one that makes sense? He just wasn't. I feel like he's so much more aggressive now.
Oh, yes, he is more aggressive, but yes, I would have seen him potentially still run that play at some point in time. Only because that fake punt was solely dictated by the look that they got.
Yes. Hey, if they do this, this is what we're going to do.
And you have to me, you have to make the decision when you're working on that during the week to say, if they show this, this is what we're going to do. I don't care where we are on the field. I don't care what point in the game it is. If we can exploit it, we're going to exploit it. And, you know, I saw there was a lot of argument going on in the comments on Jeff's Winners and Losers article. Because Jeff put that play in the Losers article. Why? Because it failed. But some of the argument that was coming out was there's two, in my thought process to that play, there's two things you look at, okay? That play technically to me had a win and a fail.
Yeah.
Okay? Actually, if you want to talk, it had two wins. Two wins. The two wins were, A, it was a perfectly designed play for what Washington was doing.
Mm-hmm.
The second win was that the Steelers ran it.
Yeah.
The loser was you got to execute it.
Yes.
And it just goes to show that in this game of football, everybody can, you got 11 guys on the field, 10 of them can execute perfectly, but the one that does not could cost you the play.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's not like he did everything wrong here. He was where he was supposed to be.
Yeah. All this and that. He just was thinking about trying to score a touchdown before he caught the ball.
First, you got to have a first down. Yeah, I said before, I'm like, I could have seen.
No, Dave, you're wrong. It's not even first you have to have a first down.
Yeah.
First, you have to catch the ball.
Well, exactly. You can't have the first down without catching the ball.
You have the first down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then you can think, take it to the house.
Yeah.
But we got things. He got things out of order.
Yeah.
And when you put those three things out of order, it doesn't typically go well.
See, and here's the thing. It's funny because Dark Knight says should have had a receivers or gunner in that spot. They did. His name's Ben Skoranek, and he was on the other side. What you don't understand is Washington's strategy. They're saying, hey, if there's someone out there as a gunner that's not a receiver, that's the guy we're going to leave if we're going to try to get another person in there. You can talk about it being a loser, but one thing we'll never know, when they have more guys there than blockers because they're bringing that extra guy inside, who's to say they don't block that punt for a safety or a touchdown?
Right. We don't know.
We'll never know. We'll never know. And the thing was, Washington was trying to get the advantage, and the Steelers are like, we're going to take what you think is an advantage for you and turn it into an advantage for us. All you got to do is catch the ball.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and I said in the postgame show, I would have expected Mike Tomlin to say, hey, anytime they give us that look, if we're outside our own 25, run it. That's automatic. We're going to do it. But for him to say, nope, we're going to do it at any point of the field, that's a risk he was willing to take. And, man, if all he does is catch the ball, we're just going to talk about how genius it was.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also got crucified a little bit in the post-game show for saying people took it the wrong way. I'm not saying that it was the defense's fault at all. But if the defense really wanted to say, hey, special teams, you've bailed us out a lot this year. We want to have your back. Don't worry. We'll keep them to 3. That would have been a big statement as well.
Yeah, and the thing there was the defense didn't even come close to keeping them to 3.
Yeah.
It was big play run, like 8-yard run, 6-yard run, 1-yard run, touchdown. It's like.
But the moment you decide to fake that punt, there's going to be a huge momentum shift. Because, even if you have the momentum, it's going to shift even more in your favor, or it's going to swing back the other way based on how you execute that. And that's what happened. I'm not, like I said, I like the whole notion of they were being aggressive. I do like that just to moving forward. Now, kind of like how many times do we complain that they're not aggressive enough? But then when the Steelers are aggressive and it doesn't work, then we find a way to complain about it. Oh, it was the wrong part of the field. Oh, you're going to get your Pro Bowl kicker killed and with a concussion and play a game without a kicker. When they faked that field goal. Several years ago against Cleveland. All those kind of things. Yep. So it's easy to say you want one thing, and when it doesn't go your way, to say how wrong it was. We've seen it a lot. So, what else from this one do you want to get to? Or do you want to go ahead? Let's take a break and then come back and finish up talking about it.
I was going to say.
So, if you're with us here on why am I suddenly forgetting our platforms? YouTube, Facebook, X. We're not going anywhere. If you're with us here on the audio side, stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
Relax, don't worry, no rush, what's the hurry? Relax, don't worry, don't worry, relax. Relax, don't worry, no rush, what's the hurry? Relax, don't worry, don't worry, relax.
All right, Rich, we got to relax. Don't worry as we continue to break down this game.
I'm not moving on yet. I'm not moving on yet.
Oh no, we're not moving on.
No. I mean, from what we were talking about right before the break, because I'm gonna bring this up.
Yeah.
Wes says aggressive in general is one thing. Aggressive on your own 15-yard line, yeah, I can do without that. But I actually would say, Wes, is can you? You have to show from time to time, not all the time, but you have to show teams that you could at least be willing to be aggressive there.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly,
a lot of things for
correct.
They put it on tape.
Correct. That they were willing to take that chance. Now, I will say one more thing about the fake punt. I'm willing for that play to happen when it happened. Because A, the Steelers had a lead. and it was the first quarter.
They hadn't even allowed a first down yet at that time.
Correct.
Now, you want to talk aggressive. The one that I don't like, I get the aggressiveness. I felt that the risk didn't outweigh the reward to what I feel was the wrong aggressive call. And that wrong aggressive call is actually winning the flip and choosing to get the ball first.
Yep.
My biggest fear,
I understand the
no,
thought. I understand the thought process,
Yeah,
but the execution didn't happen.
exactly. Well, but my biggest fear, even if the execution would have happened on the first drive, let's say you take the first 2 drives for the Steelers and flip them. They get the touchdown on the first drive, but not the second. Okay, still, all right. It still wouldn't have been worth it to me, because as someone who is allowed to live in his fears, because we fans are allowed to do that, my biggest fear is the double up scoring opportunity without really possessing the football. And that's what a turnover does, especially a special team. Think about that. You score, you kick off, and the other team turns it over on the kickoff, and you get the ball right back again. That's 2 scoring opportunities back to back. That's huge in a game. The only way you can make that happen in an NFL game outside of a turnover is based on ending the first half and starting the second half. And could you always get by where you were the one who has the ball to end the first half? Absolutely. But if you know you're getting the ball to start the second half, no matter what, the other team can't do it to you. It's just up to you to try to do it to the other team. 14 points. 14 points without the Steelers having any real chance of an offensive drive. I mean, they scored with less than 20 points left in the half. Sorry, 20 points. 20 seconds left in the half.
Thank you.
20 points. What am I saying? So that was half their points right there. And that went from the Steelers leading. I mean, the Steelers were leading with 30 seconds left in the first half. And when their offense got the ball back again for a realistic drive, they were down 10 points. You went from leading to down 2 scores without touching the ball. That's what you want to do to your opponent. To me, I think that opportunity, or taking that opportunity away from your opponent, if at all possible, is more important than setting the tone on the opening drive.
I can't say that I disagree with that because, well, I'm not going to disagree with that. Why? Because it's a numbers thing, and we're numbers geeks. So,
yeah.
But the one thing we do know about Coach Tomlin is that sometimes he'll just have a feeling. Something was going on with their team at practice this week that he had a feeling that given the chance they wanted to take the ball first.
Yeah.
And that feeling was wrong.
Well, and he admitted it at the postgame show that backfired on him. Yeah. So I don't mind if they're stuck with that because they didn't win the coin toss. That's just the way it is. But that's just one for me because I'm just saying that's what I, as a fan, in the first half, I never feel like, I mean, my goodness, you got to be up 14 points. And then I still don't feel great about it. You'd have to be winning by like 20 points in the first half with 5 minutes left in the half for me to not be concerned about that situation. Because you're talking about a team that can make up 14 points if it falls right. And the Steelers showed that they could be a team that gave up those 14 points. So I didn't like that strategy. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't like it. And I think that's exactly what Wes was saying too about the fake punt of the 15. He's not saying it's wrong. He's just saying he doesn't like it. So,
yep, I get it. I honestly I can't say that I. Oh no, I will say this. I didn't like all aspects of it, and I didn't dislike all aspects of it.
yeah.
You know, it's well, again, as we're sitting here talking, it's a catch 22. It would be, you know, especially if the catch would have been, you know, made by James Pierre.
James Pierre.
Of course, I don't know if you watched this week's episode of Pittsburgh Dad.
I haven't seen Pittsburgh Dad all season.
Of course, and after he made the comment about after the missed you know, fourth down play, fake punt, he was like, "Oh, there you go." He said, "James Pierre. Yep, that yellow spot over there on the grass, that's Pierre." So, you know.
Yep. Here's another one. John Edborg says, way too many yards given up on kick returns. Boss needs to kick it into the end zone. We were feeling that too during the game, weren't we?
Yes, we were. I think the Steelers, again, thought they saw something and had a strategy against Washington. The problem is Washington realized they had a deficiency in what teams were doing to them, and they made changes as well, and their changes didn't kill us, but their changes were sufficient to where I think you'll see teams booting it through the end zone every chance you can against them again.
Yeah. Now let's get into some fake news. Some false narratives.
Love some fake news.
People that are concerned about the Steelers' defense. Now, if you're concerned about the penalties and the DPI, that honestly can be different from crew to crew, let alone from week to week, just with the players. So the way Mike Tomlin addressed that today is, you know, it has to be two to be a pattern, and then I'll be concerned. We just got to clean it up, you know, before he's overly concerned about it. But here's what I find interesting. They're like, oh, the defense. Okay, think about this. Washington coming into this game, number 3 offense in the NFL with 392 yards per game. Third in the NFL. What'd they have? 242.
That's what I thought.
That is 150 less. Okay? Yards, rushing, third in the NFL, 163.9. They had 60.
60.
Okay? Pass, 228. They had 182. Would you look at those numbers? That's crazy. Then look at specifically Jaden Daniels. Okay? I thought I had a tab open here for Jaden Daniels, and I must have got closed out. So I'm kind of stalling just a tick in order to get the stuff back up.
I could help you on some of those. I have a couple of those memorized for him.
First, let's look at his rushing yards. I read them off on the postgame show.
Yeah, he rushes for
the least amount 50, this year was 22.
Yeah, but he's averaging like 50 something.
Yeah, well, he was
until they played the Steelers.
Yes, he was averaging.
I said was averaging, so
yes,
you know I said
he's
that correctly.
Now averaging 46.4 per game.
Yeah, I want to say he was averaging around 55 before playing the Steelers.
5 yards rushing. You don't understand how that changes everything. And honestly, that the one play that he got some yardage on, Patrick Queen ran him down. And I think they saw that and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You
know, people want to say TJ Watt, oh, he didn't have any tackles. Oh, you know what TJ Watt also didn't do? He was part of a defense that didn't let Jaden Daniels run. I don't know what he asked. I don't know if they asked TJ Watt to do something huge in that regard. But if they did, he got the job done. They asked Patrick Queen to take it out. He got the job done. Whoever it was, they all got the job done. The whole unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people are going to not like it because you didn't get the big sacks from your outside rushers.
Nope, you got them from
So-
your inside rushers.
Correct. Which to me, that tells me what we were doing was the whole idea was to hold the pocket.
Yes.
Keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket.
Yeah.
So you could not come with out of control rushes from the edge.
Yeah.
So we held him in the pocket, and that allowed one-on-one, honestly, some of those one-on-ones inside with Cam Hayward, that's just not fair to guys.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward is just too freaking strong.
Yeah.
And we made the Washington Commanders play into what we wanted them to do. Like, we did not allow their offense to dictate to our defense. Our defense dictated to their offense.
Yep.
So overall, I liked the scheme. I liked the game plan. The players were executing it not perfectly, but decently.
Yeah.
Because we could get in to talk about that was Joey Porter Jr.'s worst game as a professional, in my opinion.
Yeah, he struggled. I mean, he had 3 penalties for 40 yards all in the first half. I still don't agree with PFF that they credited him for that long catch by McLaurin.
Yeah, I didn't either. That was on Minka.
That was in front of, they were
Right in
obviously
front.
zone there.
Yep.
But
And it was
Porter
right in
tracked
front-
him down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still also, I don't know if you thought, I thought it was funny. They gave the worst coverage grade on the day for the Steelers to Cam Sutton. Yet he was targeted 3 times and allowed 0 receptions.
Yeah, I saw that in your article, and I'm just like, okay, so they throw at him 3 times, they don't catch any, so he has to be the worst. Which
He has
just
to be
means
terrible.
which just means that person was,
Yeah.
doing the scores
It
was
was
a
just-
Commanders fan because he was
Yeah.
mad because Sutton didn't give up any catches. So
Yeah, I don't know. But something else, because I saw brought up what should have been a safety with TJ Watt getting held.
oh my
In the
gosh,
zone.
that was awful.
I know it was awful. But as you can see, they have a tendency to not call penalties when that's in the end zone. Just look at the end of that Thursday night game
I
a
know.
couple weeks ago. But
I know.
here's the other thing. Man, oh man, am I glad they didn't call it.
Yes,
Seriously.
I agree. Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't call it. Here's why. It gives you 2 more points. You still need a touchdown to win. Would it make you feel better that a field goal would only tie it afterwards? Sure. But because the Steelers had them pinned deep, they took the ball over at the Washington 46-yard line.
yeah, yeah.
Even with the free kick from the 20-yard line, you're still talking about you might get good field position, but you're not, unless you have a really good return, you're not talking about getting it over midfield. So the 2 points there would have been nice. Yeah, but honestly, the fact that the 2 points didn't change how many scores you were behind or the type of score you were behind, I prefer the field position than what it would have been to have those 2 points.
And that's actually, I think I said that to Kyle.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, it should be," and I was like, "You know what?" I said, "We're going to be better off because we're going to have the ball on the Washington side of the 50, needing to score a touchdown rather than getting 2 points. They get a free kick, and we're at our own 30.
Yeah.
The 40 yards of
35
field
even,
position.
yeah.
Yeah, the 30 to 40 yards of field position there, I thought was more important.
Yeah. So, and that's why I thought, hey, if they can keep Washington from getting more than 1 first down, they kept them from getting none, then you're still talking decent field position in order to score there before the end of the game. And it worked out. I will also say this. What was your thought on the, I mean, there was no harm in going out there for 4th down.
No.
For the jump. Now, before we talk about the jump off sides, let's put it this way. First, this is what even if I wasn't going to run a play, I'd have gone out there. I'd have lined up for it just like they did, ran the clock down, called timeout. You know what I would have done?
What?
I'd have gone out there again with my offense.
With my offense.
Lined up for them, try to draw them off sides, and take the penalty.
And take the
5
penalty.
yards wouldn't
Yeah.
have hurt you with that punt.
Nope, it would
I
not
have done
have.
it. I would have tried it twice, and they got it the first time. So we'll never know if they would have tried it again. But that's what I
Yeah.
would have done personally. So I will tell you this: that was great. It was a wonderful job by Russell Wilson to do that and to sell it and to watch everyone celebrate. when that
Not
happened.
just
It was such a
not
great feeling.
just for Russ to sell it, but I mean, I was sitting there thinking, we're gonna go out, line up, try to draw them off sides, and we'll jump, which won't hurt anything
Which wouldn't hurt a
in
thing.
the end.
Yeah.
But we'll jump. It's like but we can't jump.
No, you want to hear? You want to hear what went through my mind when they went to do it? Come on, Zach Frazier, don't Linderbaum it.
Yeah.
Remember last year against the Ravens?
Yeah.
Right before the half, the center thought he had him jumped off, and he snapped the ball. Guess what? Good offensive line coaching tells you this: center, don't snap the ball. The other linemen need to move.
Yeah.
If you snap the ball when he's not offside, you're screwed. If the other lineman moved and he wasn't across, it's just a false start. At least you're not snapping the ball and running a play and royally and being like, oh no, it's fourth down, or what are we doing? Like what happened with the Ravens. It's not the center's job is to, under no circumstance, snap the ball, even if they come across. It's the job of the other guys to move because they did.
Yep.
So they did it right. They did it. And Wes said it in there because I said it too. I think people know I have a soft spot for the Commanders. They're not far from here. They're in a different conference than the Steelers. I had season tickets to them for a while back when they were the Redskins, just so I could go to the Steelers game in 2008. But then I kept them for several years with a friend up until the lockout just to go watch NFL football. As a high school football coach, I just wanted to take it in and see players. I saw Peyton Manning play. I saw Brett Favre play. I saw Drew Brees play. All those people play in Washington. So for that time. So I think – so now I'm happy I can go back for wanting to see the Commanders win every week now that they're done with the Steelers. I felt bad for that poor defensive lineman because you're that guy. But you know what I'd like and respect about the Washington Commanders? Did you see his teammates instantly right then in that moment come up to him and put their arms around him and pat him on the head and say, you know what? We got your back still. That didn't, I mean, whether they felt it in their heart that, man, this guy lost us the game, they rallied to their guy. And I respect that so much.
That play from the Washington's perspective, that play ended the game.
Yeah.
But that play didn't lose the game.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So
honestly, I was like, it all comes down to the punt. If the Steelers pin him inside the 5, they might have won that game by 3 points.
Yes. Yes.
It all would have been, can they get down and cover it inside the 5? And then see what happens from there. But punting it was the right decision to do if you didn't get them to jump off sides. Like I said, I would have done it twice. I would have tried it twice. Because you couldn't just – would I've loved to see the Steelers just get 1 yard and end it? Sure. But you can't just give them one first down and you're in field goal range and we lose. Honestly, if the Steelers were winning by 3, I think they go for it.
Now. Ready? Now, ready for some mind stuff here, Dave? And let's go truly philosophical.
Okay.
I'm going to take this from the perspective of the guy from the Commanders that jumps off sides. In the back of his mind, did he have to think there was a chance that the Steelers would run the risk and go on that play?
You have to.
Considering they'd tried the fake punt deep in their own territory earlier in the game.
You know what? You're right. That fake punt showed the mentality. That fake punt might have been what set that off. You're exactly right. If they don't fake that punt earlier, then Washington's probably thinking, oh, this is conservative Mike Tomlin. They're not actually going to snap the ball. Just don't jump off sides. But they're like, holy cow, they faked the punt at their own 15. They're crazy enough to go for this right here if they don't get it. I got to be ready to make this stop.
Yeah, because too, you got to think then too, because that player's got to be sitting there and thinking, if they're crazy enough and snap this ball, and I don't make this stop, what's everybody going to say?
Yeah.
Shame on, they'd have been, that poor guy's like, that has been saying if they run it, sneak it, whatever, and get the first, then it's like, come on, Washington, you got to be actually got to be ready for if the play actually happens. So,
Yep.
Hey,
we loved it when Troy Polamalu timed it perfectly and jumped over the line and hit the quarterback. Do you remember the times where he didn't?
That's right.
And he was early? Because they happened too.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
All right, it's a fun game. Steelers pull it out. They got to win. Now let's move on.
Win. Now, so let's talk about that for a second before we get to our big question. Everything we said, hard fought win, close game, pulling out the 1-point victory over a quality team on the road, despite probably having an advantage of the fans in the stands. Brian Anthony Davis was there. He had some great experiences. If you're not sure, go back to listen to Here We Go, Steelers Show, Bad Language, all that good stuff. Hear about his time there. Some really great.
Yeah, because you didn't hear about it on the.
I told him I was going to talk about it on the show, and I forgot what it was. So I'm going to leave that one for Brian.
You didn't hear about it from him on the post game show because he couldn't get the technical.
Yeah, he couldn't get it to connect properly, but yeah. But winning this game in this way is kind of important going forward. You think so?
You're the one that said it, so you tell me why.
Oh, I'm asking. No, I'm asking.
Oh, you were asking.
I said, "Do you think so?"
I know you're saying, "Do you think so?" But you're like, "Oh, it's important going forward." Do you think so?
I'm making a statement.
Like, I don't know, Dave. Is it? There you go. Turn around on you. I don't know, Dave. Is it?
Okay. I was just making the statement and seeing if you agree with it. That's okay. Go ahead and give us your score.
Oh,
we'll just move on.
Quit your pouting.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Hey,
no,
wait a minute. For those tuning in, you're now getting to see the fun of what happens when the brothers, kind of go at it. But it's like,
if you don't want to answer the question, it's fine. We'll just go on to the next one.
No, you made a statement. Okay, like it's what you, and then the way you finished, I wasn't sure if that's what you feel or not.
Yeah,
I'm like, or why you feel that way. Look, Dave, winning any game in any fashion is important. The Steelers had not won a game like that this year.
Nope.
So just the fact that they won the game in a manner that they had not won, to me, was good. I actually liked, one last piece on that is I liked seeing the close game, but notice it wasn't a 13-12 game.
Exactly.
Wasn't 13-12 game. Well, it wasn't, it was two teams in the upper 20s. When's the last time we saw the Steelers win a 1-point game when the score was over 20 points? It just doesn't happen very often right now.
Hasn't happened for a while. Hasn't happened since, I would say, I would have to say it was probably pre-elbow injury with Ben Roethlisberger.
That's what I was. If I were guessing, that's what I would be guessing as well.
Yeah.
So just the fact that it was a style of victory that we've not seen from the Steelers for a while was nice. Nice to know that they could put one like that in the books.
Yeah.
Which I think that is leading into what you were wanting me to get to. Okay? Which is games coming up against Baltimore, 2 games, Cincinnati, 2 games. 2 teams that offensively can put up points, but defensively are awful. The Steelers could find themselves in games like the game they just had with the Commanders. They could find themselves in these types of games over the next several weeks. So to have that one under their belt could be important.
Yeah, I'm missing someone that I haven't seen for a while. Trying to remember, was it Steelers Freak? Is that the name that often would say, this team can't. They got us, all about scoring points. And I would always say, you only have to score more points than what your opponent does. And if your defense can hold them to lower amounts of points, that was Kansas City's philosophy all last year and this year. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
They're not tearing it up offensively when it comes to putting massive amount of points on the board, even though they're undefeated. They hit 30 points in one game this year.
One game. Steelers have more
One game.
30-point games in Kansas City.
Yes.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah. So is it about scoring that many points, or is it about scoring more points than your opponent? That's really important stuff. But that's what Steelers fans had to take solace in for the longest time. That the defense has to keep them lower. That's how they can do it. Guess what? It doesn't have to be that way anymore. All the defense has to do is take a team that's scoring. I'm trying to remember now, and I'm exactly how many points Baltimore is scoring. What
All
their
right,
average is.
Let me just say this. I have numbers that I'm just kind of making up. But let's say Baltimore's scoring average is 32 points a game.
You're pretty close there. It's 31.8.
There you go. Okay, so they're 32 points a game. How much is Baltimore's defense giving up a game?
That's the other key.
Let's say their defense is giving up 28 a game, which probably isn't that far off either, because they are really giving up some points.
25.3.
Okay, so 25.3, which actually, when you think about it, that's coming against some teams that aren't very good offensively. So. Yeah. Would you figure the Steelers could score 28 on the Ravens? I feel comfortable that the Steelers can score 28 on the Ravens.
Yes.
So if the defense could hold them to 25, or even 27,
they're doing 32. Hold them to a touchdown less. 25. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. 25. Hold them to 25. Do I think the Steelers could beat the Ravens if they can hold the Ravens to 25 points? Yes, I do.
I do.
So make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, I think they could do it even if they hold them to 28 points. I think they could hold the Ravens to 31 and still win, because the Ravens defense, especially their pass defense, is not good.
It's not good.
But there's going to be a lot. Steelers hard-fought win against a quality team in Washington on the road. Lost the turnover battle in what I would call -2, although officially it was -1 because the failed fake punch like a turnover. Gave up completely, lost the middle 8 in the worst way possible. Even if you called it, the middle 6, the just the last 2 minutes of the first half, the first 4 of the second half. They lost that as bad as you can lose it, 14 points. And still managed to win the game.
Against a defense that I think is way better than what they'll see this week.
Yeah, Baltimore gives up 25.3. Washington, including the Steelers game, gives up 21.7.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
So
you ready
ultimately, I am. So ultimately, what we're talking about in this game comes down to if the Steelers' offense can do to the Ravens' defense what they should be able to, and the defense for the Steelers plays solid, not even lights out, just solid, the Steelers can win this game.
Yeah.
Man, if the defense came and played lights out, it could turn into a blowout.
I mean,
I don't know that it will because it's Steelers-Ravens, right?
yes. I mean,
But-
the Steelers have only been giving up 16.2 points per game, but you think that's really what they do with the number one offense in the NFL? That's, yeah.
No, but would I be surprised if they held the Ravens to 20, even though the Ravens are averaging 32? Could they hold the Ravens to 20? Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
And if they do, I would not just think the Steelers could win. I would expect a Steelers win.
Yes.
So
I'll say this before you give us your score.
okay.
Okay. That since I'm going to this game on Sunday, so I'll be there. If anyone's coming, hit me up. Daniel J and I will be there in section 122. Because I'm going there, I'm going to pick the Steelers with this game when it comes to Thursday. The question is how I think how much they win the game is more about the defense. Exactly what you said. The better the defense plays, the more of a chance I think the Steelers have to win the game by more. And I love that they're home dogs. Everyone still is high on the Ravens, even though, like I said, the Ravens are the number one scoring offense. The Steelers are the number two scoring defense. But the Ravens are the number 25th scoring defense. 25th scoring defense. What's the Steelers when it comes to scoring offense?
I don't know. Where are we? I haven't looked.
12th.
Really? I'd have said 15, 16.
Well, that's where we were
12.
before this game. 23.9 points per game.
Wow. What an improvement for the offense this year.
23.9. And just think, the more Russell Wilson so far, the trend, I mean, nothing against Justin Fields. He put up over 30 in his last game playing. So, yeah, it's, keep that trend rolling up. So I'll talk about those numbers a little bit more on Pittsburgh Standard Time. All right. I know there's a lot of people probably just waiting to put their score out there. We just haven't got to it. So go for it, Rich.
All right. Oh, you ready? I love it. I'm even going to add a piece. You know how sometimes our folks out there put a score in and they had a quick little statement.
Disclaimer.
Yep.
or a prediction other than the score. Yeah.
Ready? Steelers 26. Ravens 24. On a Chris Boswell 50-plus yard field goal to win the game and shut people up about Justin Tucker.
Oh, no. This is, you know what? What I would love even more.
What's that?
I'm not going to predict it.
I know. A miss from Tucker.
For people to put their scores, I'm not going to predict it. What would be even better? Boswell hits a 50-plus yarder for the Steelers to take the lead. The Ravens have 22 seconds left. They actually complete a couple passes. Tucker lines up for a 55-yarder and misses it.
And then misses. Yeah, that's true. Or even better, blocked.
Or it's a tie game. It's a tie game, and it's the opposite. Ravens are lining up with 20-some seconds left, 30 seconds left to kick the 50-some yarder. Tucker misses it. The Steelers get one first down, and Boswell hits a 60-yarder to win the game.
Nice.
Something like that. That would be phenomenal. All right. We've got them flying in. Everyone's ready for them. Here we go, since we're always running over here. Kathy Ford says 28-24 Steelers. Gabriel Golden says 29-17 Steelers. Thomas Riley has Steelers 13, Ravens 13. Thomas, I love that you stay dedicated to it. Nice. Although I would have said 30-30, but that's just me. Afton Ford, 23-22 Baltimore. Okay. Steel Dog 88 has 23-19 Steelers. For those of you that don't
Really,
remember,
23-19.
23-19. For those of you that don't remember, if you don't say a team, we assume it's Steelers. All right. Brent Howell says 26-19 Steelers. Wes has 26-17 Pittsburgh. He thinks that they'll run the ball well with Derrick Henry, who I thought was funny that once again, just like last week, Coach Tallman did not say Jaden Daniels' name in the press conference. He referred to him as other things all the time. He did the same thing this week with Derrick Henry. didn't call him by name, called him by other stuff. But he says that he thinks Henry will go, but Lamar. Remember, the last time Lamar Jackson beat the Steelers as a starter, Juju Smith-Schuster fumbled the ball in overtime after he caught a pass in the first game by Devlin Duck Hodges.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the last time Lamar Jackson has beaten the Steelers. So just remember that. So, all right. BF Bud has 31-30. Boz last second. Like it. Brian Brown says 16-10. Okay. Oh.
That's hilarious.
He
That's
says
hilarious.
And DJ catches 15-yard pass, runs 9-yard backwards, and fumbles. Steelers win. Jamie Carlo says 31-28 Steelers. See, now that's honestly, I think that is a very likely score for a game like this. I could see that one right there. Baltimore's offense is going to score points. I don't know that they're going to score a lot, but this isn't going to be like the Steelers,
This isn't going to be a Steelers. Yeah, this isn't going to be a Steelers Baltimore 16-13.
And if it is, I'll gladly take it.
I'll gladly take it.
All right. Because honestly, a scoring game, I think the Steelers can win it. Low scoring game, I think it's the advantage Steelers. So Sherry Richards has 30-24 Steelers. David Poe has Steelers 31, Ratbirds 26. Mark Tobin has 35-20 Steelers. No field goals for the Steelers again. See, that's also a score that I don't know.
That also could mean no field goals for the Ravens as well.
And they miss an extra point.
Again.
Valley Ford says 31-24 Steelers. John Borg says 30-28 Steelers. He's saying Minka gets a pick six. See, now if they won by more than a touchdown, I could see that even more. Reginald Rivers says 23-19.
We got another 23-19.
Yep, we have another 23-19. Outside Steelers fan says good guys 31, Ratbird 17. He says in the game will be even worse for Baltimore than the score. I said I'm going to be sitting there. Bring it on. I would love to see that in person. Mr. Woodside has Steelers 30-27. Ruben Stone has 24-20 Steelers. And I think that's the last one we have right now.
That's the last one.
So once again, we went over a little bit, so we gotta get rolling here. But Rich, I'm excited. I have not been to a game this year yet.
Neither have I.
That's right. You didn't even get to go to the preseason one.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Your wife and daughter went to that one.
Yep, sent the girls to the preseason game.
So yes, this is. I don't know that this might be the only one I get to this year. We'll have to see. Because I'm just. It all depends on that TBD game at the end of the season. That's also my status for that game as well because of it being TBD. I'm excited to go. I have not been to a game with my wife for quite some time. I will tell you this. The last one was a week 17 game, final game of the season against the Cleveland Browns. And we actually went to two of those. My wife has never seen the Steelers lose in person. They're undefeated when she's there. Not only that, she has never been to a game in person where the Ravens have been victorious, and she's been to multiple ones, and not necessarily even against Pittsburgh. We actually one time she got cheap tickets through her workplace to go to a Ravens game that was not the Steelers, and we went and watched them lose. That was my first ever NFL game. Was actually Ravens Saints when it was it Jamal Lewis and Deuce McAllister each rushed for 3 touchdowns from each team. So she's got a pretty good streak going. So let's get that going for her. But it's been. I think
she better keep it going, or I'm blaming her.
She's been to a game. It's been since 2017 since she's been to a game, I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited for her to be able to go back then. So excited about that one. Hey, we're going to continue to bring you all our regular lineup of podcasts. Everything should be on schedule and where it should be. Make sure you're checking out steelcurtainnetwork.com for all of the articles there. Still wrapping up stuff from Washington. We should have a Worthless 2 cents from Big Bro coming later this week.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite articles. That and the Jig is Up that Jeff does. That's a pretty good one. We already had KT Smith's 3 and Out.
3 and Out. I love his 3. I love his 3 and Out.
We've got lots of great articles there on the website. So make sure you're checking that out. And I wish I could get a firm date of when we're getting the facelift of the website, because I have seen it and it looks good, and I just want you all to be able to see it as well. But I just don't. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that has to get straightened out for that to happen, and we have not been given a date yet. Rich, what do you want to say here tonight to close us out?
Dave, you're going to be in the stadium on Sunday. I kind of wish I was going to be in the stadium on Sunday, but I am not. I will be at home watching the game from my couch. We are dog sitting this weekend, so I may sit there with the dog and watch the game.
There you go.
Because I'll probably chase everybody else away. But the dog will still love me. So, what can you say? It's Ravens week. In some way, shape, or form, this game will be a slobber knocker, because all Ravens Steeler games are slobber knockers. And as much as I hate the Ravens, there's something about seeing what I consider to be top-notch, AFC North slobber knocker football. There's just something about it that just I love. Mm-hmm. So I'll be looking forward to it. I'll be nervous as all get out going into the game, because I always am going into games against the Ravens. But I'm going to get excited for it. I'll say this. I was nervous going into the game last week.
Yep.
And even made more nervous due to the fact that my former college roommate and best man at my wedding decided to start texting with me early in the morning on Sunday to talk, all very respectful from both sides, as he and I have always been when it comes to football, because I also am like you. Now that we're done playing the Commanders, I'll kind of be pulling for the Commanders.
Yep.
Always have. But, as nervous as I'm going to be, I'm also going to be excited. Excited for 1 o'clock on Sunday, when God intended football to be played, to sit on my couch and take in Steelers-Ravens. And with the hopes of coming back here next week and taking that deep breath smell of sweet victory. Can't wait.
You gotta just chill out, man.
Can't wait.